Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mirrorless Monday, right here on the Eat Sleep List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your host. And now that we are in the week of Halloween, I want to talk about some good times and great memories around this holiday. Let's make a list. If you've been watching this YouTube channel for any length of time, you may have picked up on that I'm a bit of a curmudgeon. I can be a little bit miserable, a little bit downright depressing about things that are supposed to be joyous and happy and fun. All right, especially like tradition. I say that I'm a traditionalist, but there's also a lot of stuff where I'm just like, meh, whatever. All right, holidays just don't hit the same for me anymore. Even though I'm trying to get back into that, but Halloween is up there on the list of things that don't really do anything for me. And it's sad. It stinks because as a kid, I loved Halloween. I looked forward to it. It was, you marked it on your calendar. It was a just incredible event. You know, you get to, like, picking out a costume was as important as people picking out their wedding clothes or women picking out wedding dresses or prom dresses or any of that stuff. Like, that's how much this night used to mean to me. You know, I did a ton of it over the years. I dressed up from I was little till the 5th grade, and then there was a long stretch of me not caring. And eventually I got back into it, but it wasn't something like it was a couples thing to kind of do. It wasn't really something that I loved and was fond of. But I remember when I lost my love for it. I do. It was after the 5th grade. I dressed up as Spider-Man, and we went through the whole school shindig, and everybody in my class is picking on me for dressing up as Spider-Man, which was hilarious because not too long after that, the Spider-Man movie started to hit, and all of a sudden everybody else is dressing up like comic book characters again. Now it's cool to do it. I was just a year too early, and it stunk. And I finally got to do like this superhero character that I was excited for. I finally got to wear a mask for Halloween and all this stuff, and I just got roasted for it. And after that, I didn't care. And I feel bad because, like, I'm growing up, I'm a big brother, and my brother is experiencing Halloween, coming up through it, and I was just, meh. I lost interest, and like, there's some regret that, like, I never got to spark his joy for it. It just happened at the wrong time. I feel like I got taken out to the woodshed with my love of Halloween. And it's shameful. It's shameful, and it's persisted a long time. But, you know, I have to do better. I have to do better. All right, I can't be a pessimist about all these things. Like, I feel very I'm like not a conformist. Like, if everybody likes or does something, like I feel like the need to just not like it. I don't know where that started. I don't. But I'm a dad now. I have to be better. I have to show some enthusiasm. I have to be genuinely enthused. If I want to give my son the best possible childhood that I can. I had a great childhood. I had great Halloweens as a kid when I loved it, and I didn't let the world beat my love of Halloween out of me. All right? It is my duty to be enthusiastic and excited for my son to do Halloween. I got to do better. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I want to get those good feelings back. Like I want to remember and openly discuss and let loose those good feelings and vibes that I used to have. All right, I have some great memories of Halloween as a kid. Great memories, and I'm excited to share them with you today. There is some harder to remember than others, but I want to. I gotta love this again for my son. Not for me, but because I want to be a great dad, and be excited for him to love this, to be invested in it, and to enjoy Halloween the way it's meant to be enjoyed. I'm definitely looking in the mirror as I say all of this. All right. And because I need to hear it, I need to say it out loud and really listen to myself. And maybe somebody watching this video needs to hear it as well. There is an entire generation of kids who love Halloween, who enjoy Halloween, who have that same desire, aspiration, and excitement that many of us once had for the holiday. There are kids who can't wait to pick out their Halloween costume every single year. All right, and a lot of times it's crazy how expensive Halloween costumes are. Has anybody been to Spirit lately? Good Lord. It is insane, the amount that they charge. People spend a lot of money to make their kids look awesome and be happy with what they look like on Halloween. And these kids look forward to a bag full of candy, going door to door and seeing what people have to offer. Kids look forward to that. It's not like a mandatory thing. But if you loved trick-or-treating as a child and you loved the spirit of Halloween, right? And like you loved going door to door, asking for candy, saying trick or treat. Be that for kids, for other people walking around. All right. I remember the heartbreak of walking by a house or walking up to a house and nobody answers the door when you knock and there's no candy. I remember being like super disappointed in that. I'm like, oh man, like I didn't understand it as a kid. So I don't want another kid to have that feeling, to have that experience. So maybe I got to do better with the trick-or-treating, handing out stuff. Most certainly. But if you no matter what the aspect of Halloween that you enjoy, just enjoy it. If you are into the party scene, you like the drinking and other activities, go for it. Do it, have fun, and enjoy yourself. Just make sure you celebrate it. If you enjoy some of the other little nuances, all right, of the trick-or-treating. If you have a kid, make the extra effort. Take them out. Be with them as they're going door to door. Or, hand out stuff if you don't have one. If you like scary movies and Halloween specials, make sure you curl up and enjoy that. All right? It just feels different when it's done on Halloween. It just feels different and more special. But just find a way. Find a way to enjoy it and be able to share that tradition, that love of this day that it is, we're losing. We always complain, oh, this new generation is this, it's that. They don't do it like our generation did. It's our responsibility to preserve tradition and pass it along to the next one and leave it better than what it was before. All right, everybody, it is time for my favorite part of every single video that we do. It is time to make the list. As I always encourage, please feel free to comment along for this video. Share a favorite Halloween memory or share a few, whatever you're comfortable with. All right, or if you don't want to put it out publicly in the comment section, feel free to send an email to eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com. That email address is in every single video description that we post. All right, so we're going to talk about some good stuff here. All right, a lot of fun personal memories for myself and in order to get the spirit back underway. All right, here we go. My top 10 favorite Halloween memories. Number 10, this one's a pretty generic one for me, but the jerk part, I love to wake up on Halloween and go right into sharing screenshots of Christmas music that I listen to. I love Christmas music. I do. It's fun. It's cheerful. And I know so many people who love Halloween. So this is my trick, I guess, is to antagonize those people. I cannot wait. I remember I did it a couple years ago, and I riled up so many people, and they were making Facebook posts left and right. It's just me being a dick on social media. It's pretty simply that. I do love that after Halloween, it's Christmas music season. All right, it's usually better to start it after Thanksgiving, but after you're past Halloween, it's open game. All right, Mariah Carey, Michael Bublé, bring it on. But yeah, trolling people with Christmas music posts all the time. On that special day, that's my number 10 favorite Halloween memory. Number 9, I recall a great big Halloween party at my friend Billy's former house many years ago. I think it was in, it was 2 years, I think it was like 2011. So I was actually doing wrestling training at the time, and I remember racing home to be a part of this Halloween party that he was having. And to paint the picture, my friend Billy and his family had a massive house in Niagara Falls. It was a former funeral home that had 3 floors and a basement and a huge parking lot. They bought it. It was creepy. It was a creepy house. If I remember correctly, they were taking guts out of the sink. There was a casket in the basement, and there were some headstones that were left in a garage. But this house was immaculate. I miss it so much. But his dad and stepmom went away for a week. I think they went to Disney or something. So he goes, I got this plan. We're going to throw a massive Halloween party. And boy, oh boy, did he. There were so many people at this party. It was like a giant class reunion. There was probably close to 100 people in this house. Alcohol flowing everywhere. People were smoking doobies in all sorts of places. It was a fun time. There was people just everywhere. All right, it was a lot of fun. Until the sheriffs started circling around this place, and his dad was a cop, and they knew of him. I would imagine so, but they were all over the place, and then they eventually busted the party. There's people running everywhere. He had to make a big announcement and send everybody away. Some people stayed back and helped clean up, but for the large part, everybody kind of left. And it was like that prototypical movie/TV show party. But it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people there. And there was a lot of places to hide and whatnot. But I just remember that. Yeah, I remember that night very well. It was fun, and it was a great hangout. So number 9, the busted Halloween party. We're moving on to my number 8. My wife is so incredibly creative, and she was one of the people who really brought me back into Halloween, doing stuff for Halloween. She has a group of friends that she's really tight with, and they would do Halloween gatherings all the time. So what we would do is I would just let her take the reins, but she would come up with these very creative couples costumes that I had never really done. Some really good ones over the years. All right, really creative ones. Sometimes we get 2 a year because we do multiple Halloween parties. But we did a Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc. Costume pairing that I really liked. I just basically wore a sweater that she dolled up with felt and all sorts of stuff that made me look like Sully from Monsters Inc. There was the Hunter and the Doe one, that costume that I really liked, and it was that was a fun, simple one. I never really wore much camo in my day, and I did that day, and we were just cute. We did a ceiling fans one. Now this one's a bit of a hard one to explain, but when you think of ceiling fans, you think of an oscillating fan on a ceiling spreading air. But the way that she did it, it was fans of ceilings. So she did like a cheerleader kind of fan, like sports fan thing, and we had flags that said "Go Ceilings" on it. So creative. Love that one. Also our first major date. So we did like a walk thing around the Niagara Falls, but our first major date, and I was doing pro wrestling at the time, but she won tickets for a Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was trying to sing the song out. Rocky Horror Picture Show, one of these live gatherings at this place where people are throwing bread and rice and all sorts of shit around, and we did a couple's like Top Gun costume because that was my wrestling shtick. Was Maverick Matt Milan, so I went all in on the Top Gun part, and we drove out there and we had a good time, and it was fun. But she, like, those couples costumes, she's doing it like in a family atmosphere today, and we're gonna talk a little bit about one of my other entries, but her creativity is unbelievable, and some of those costumes were just iconic, and I love them dearly. So number 8. The creative couples costumes that my wife came up with. Number 7, we're going to go to those school parties and events and parades. Like I said, that 5th grade one was kind of rough, but the other ones previously were fun. Walking around out in the neighborhood in our Halloween costumes. Sometimes parents would come out and watch. Sometimes the neighbors would come, the school would come out and watch. It's kind of a cool thing just walking around in our Halloween costumes, and it made you feel special. And then, again, of course, the in-classroom parties that always went on. My mom was very involved when I was in elementary school about being at stuff and sending stuff. If I'm not mistaken, she would make Halloween cookies with all the kids' names on it, which was really neat. So everybody had a specific, like, cutout cookie. That was pumpkin shaped, and I think I remember helping her out with making them. That was such a fun tradition, is the Halloween cookie process. All right, sitting there with the cutouts and different cutouts and stuff, and doweling them up. That was always a good time. So school parties, school parades, good time. That was my number 7. Number 6. This one is heartbreaking, and it's funny looking back on it. I still feel bad. My parents know this as the lobster costume incident. So my mom has a friend. I actually don't remember the friend, but she rented out costumes for us. I think 4, maybe 5 years old, and just to have something. I'm not sure exactly what the reason was, but I imagine they had a good reason for renting out costumes. And I was like, really? I'm going to be a lobster? I'm gonna be a lobster. Okay, and you know, I don't know any kid who's excited to be a lobster, but again, I'm sure there was a reason behind it. And this is no fault. Like I'm not like mad at my parents or this is some kind of childhood trauma or anything, but I was not very grateful for this costume. What set me off was my cousins Nico, Teresa, and Brandon came over. And I'm most positive my cousin Nico was Batman. I think my cousin Brandon was a Power Ranger, and I can't remember what my cousin Teresa was. But here I am standing in my living room like this with the lobster costume, and I seen them walk in with these awesome, and I freaked out. I cried and ran into my room. I was so mad, and like again, this is a Halloween memory. It's not like great. It's not a super like positive one, but it's one that I like. It's funny in hindsight, but also I just feel bad because I know my parents did it with the best intentions, but when you're 4 or 5 years old and you're a lobster and your cousin gets to be Batman, there's gonna be some hard feelings, and it unfortunately did not go over well. But I appreciate the effort as an adult. I look back and I remember this a little bit more fondly. I'm thankful for the effort that my parents did in doing this because they obviously, whatever it was, they did it. So my number 6, the lobster costume incident. My number 5, the lobster one didn't go great. But I also had a lot of great ones over the years. I had a lot of really great ones. My favorite one that I ever did as a kid was Obi-Wan. Star Wars Episode 1, Obi-Wan Kenobi. That was 99, so I was in 3rd grade. And, yeah, I think I was in third or 4th grade. Actually, it might have been 3rd. I think on the last episode, I goofed up. I think I goofed. I made a bit of an error. I'll have to correct that when I edit it. And obviously, this episode will be dropping long after that's been posted. But so 1st grade was Robin. 2nd grade was Superman. 3rd grade was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, I got it going. But I was excited because Star Wars was the be-all, end-all that year. And I got, you get the tunic costume. And, of course, the most important part of being a Jedi is getting the lightsaber, the one that kind of caved in on itself. I love that. You hold the button down and you throw it and the lightsaber extends. And I was so excited to walk around with that thing. It was really cool, though, too. It came with a Padawan braid, and I had hair back then. So I just clip it on the back of my hair, and the Padawan braid came down, and I was elated. And I think that year, too, my cousin Nico did the Darth Maul. So we both had lightsabers to play with going forward. But that was one of my favorite ones. There was the Robin one. There was Superman. I remember Cave People. That was a nice, simple one. I remember that one my mom made was really cool. Using some rugs and some chicken wing bones. We used to have this red plastic bat. I don't know if it might still be around, to be honest with you, but we wrapped it. She wrapped it in like paper and dolled it up so it looked like a club, like a cave person, a stereotypical cave person club. So the good costumes. I remember those very fondly. Number 4, waning down, we went trick-or-treating and all that stuff, but we'd always make a special trip out to my Mima's place. I love her house. I loved the one that she lived when we were growing up. But we'd always go down there. I loved it because you'd walk in, you open the door, and you head right downstairs. And she had this beautiful living space and had this like special smell. But she was always like waiting there, had all the goodies ready to go. And it was like this. It was cool because it was this big cousin meetup. Like we'd all kind of do our trick or treating, and then we'd meet over there for a little bit and spend some time with our Mima. And she'd always have like these pumpkin cookies It was like shaped like a pumpkin. There was like a pumpkin stylized like smiley face, and there was it tasted that pumpkin taste. There was a couple other little goodies that she'd always pass out too, but yeah, those were some. I mean, I missed that. It was it was cool because it was our mini Halloween party gathering at Mima's house, and yeah, she always took good care of us for Halloween. I miss her. That's my number 4. Number 3 was last year. It was my son's first and my dog Prince's last. We got one family Halloween costume grouping, and it was great. Another brilliant one by my wife. She put together a lifeguard shark attack family costume. And me and my buddy Prince, my dog Prince, were lifeguards. He was a I don't know. There was some cute name on his costume that I adored. And Bennett, my son, was a shark. And my wife, because he was breastfeeding at the time, she was a victim, and she had blood on her shirt, which it made for a funny family costume. And to think that was the only family one that we got to do with the dog, with Prince, it's sad in hindsight, but like I'm glad that we got to do it. And of course, it's my son's first one. He's getting teeth, and he just looks so cute in his shark costume. I can't wait to see what. I mean, obviously, I know what he's gonna be for Halloween this year. I'm excited to see how he acts in it, just dressing him up all cute and such. So that is my number 3. My number 2, this was another brilliant costume made by my mom, and I think I wore this in the 4th grade. My dad was a construction worker. He is a construction worker, and he had a lot of extra stuff, and it was my first Halloween dance that they ever did. It might have been the first one at the school, but I don't know if you had to have like an age, like if you hit the 4th grade, you can go to this Halloween themed dance. And my mom did a great job setting me up for, and obviously a lot of my dad's tools and stuff too, but giving me the construction worker look. I had torn up jeans. I had one of my dad's safety vests. I had a hard hat that he brought home. It was a kid-sized green hard hat that he brought home for us. And I had a tool belt. I'm pretty sure I might have brought like an empty staple gun and some other like a hammer and some other tools. But I went to this Halloween dance. Oh, and the best part, my mom, I forgot what my mom did. She lit something, and it gave me like a beard. It looked like a scruffy beard look. I can't remember what the heck it was called. It was like a cork. It was like a burned cork. You lit it, and it if you rubbed it on the face, it gave this look of a dirt or a beard. But I went to this Halloween dance as this construction worker, and I won. I won a costume contest for it. I remember the lady, a mother, some teacher, a parent goes, she was being asked who wins the costume contest or who she recommends, and she goes, the construction worker because of the beard. I never forget that. I didn't win shit as a kid. I was not very good athletically. I had the worst luck. This was like one of the first things, besides like a popcorn bottle coin holder thing that my Mima gave away at some event. This was like the first like contest that I ever won. And it's Halloween related, and I never forget it. So that's my number 2, is winning the Halloween dance costume contest. And boy, that went right to my head. My number 1 is the cool down. All right, Halloween cool down. At the end of the night, we did trick-or-treating. We went over to my Mima's house, and we just come home and just decompress. All right, trick-or-treating is done. There'd be pizza, whichever of my parents didn't take us out, they'd be home handing out candy, but they'd have pizza and wings and all sorts of stuff. And my mom loved doing the pumpkin seeds. All right, that was always a fun one. We were carving pumpkins and taking the pumpkin seeds out. My mom baked them. They added salt and all sorts of stuff, and it was great. But we watch a movie. We'd watch a Halloween special, like The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, or some of that stuff. But we just sit there in the dark and just cool down, decompress a little bit, go through our candy bags, and watch our parents check through the candy and all that stuff. It was just such a mellow, nice way to end the night. Sometimes it was a school night, which really stunk, but I just always liked that comfortable, after all this excitement and running around and walking and trick-or-treating and all these people and all that stuff, just getting to cool off at the end of the night. So the post trick-or-treating cool down, that is my number one favorite memory. Just quality time. Me at the time, when I was younger, me, my sister, and my mom and dad. Eventually, my little brother would be added to that cool down. But yeah, just the perfect way to end the perfect day. So there it is, everybody. The Halloween memories list. I shared a lot of good ones. I feel good about it. It was nice. Like in my soul, a little bit, I appreciate the holiday a little bit more. I know it was fun to write out, and it was even more fun to talk it out. But there it is. This Friday, we have a special fun list for you. The Halloween trick-or-treat list. You're getting 20 entries. All right, and we'll explain it all when we get there on Friday. We'll see you then on Halloween. Thank you so much for watching, and till next time, do you even list?